was singing earlier. What was I singing earlier? I don't even remember what it's called.
You just lose your voice.
Did you not see my text to you and Lauren earlier?
Yeah, but I didn't know you lost your voice.
I didn't. I have a voice. No nights are dark. What?
This is after 6:15. People are probably watching.
Oh, that is
just so you know, whatever you
cool.
say.
I didn't know that. I'm so sorry.
No, it's all good. So,
Awesome.
deep breath. Bring that down a little bit. Shabbat Shalom. Either live, as we're streaming right now, or perhaps later this evening on the YouTube channel that archives our services. I want to thank Mark and Carl, members of our MRJ, like others, show up here each week to make sure that these services are available for anyone in need of comfort and community during this challenging time. Tonight was supposed to be our yearly religious school service where 100 kids in 10 grades would pour in here and lead us in worship together. Times certainly change in this new normal. And so we've asked Caroline Sloter and Molly Zimmerman, who along with Scott lead us in tefillah every Sunday when we meet and teach Jewish songs, connect our students to their roots, to a sense of Jewish joy. We've asked them to lead us in services, as you can see, at a very safe distance. And actually, since no one's been in the sanctuary for a week, it's probably the safest place in Fort Worth. But to lead us in prayer, to bring us together, we know there are others who are tuning in tonight who are not only saddened by the loss of their friend, Dr. Julian Haber, but of course, because of health restrictions, were not allowed to be at his funeral. And while we will have a memorial service, chance for the whole family to gather with friends when it is safe, we will take some time before Kaddish also to share some remembrances that some members of our congregation shared about the teacher and writer, decent man that Julian was. But first, we welcome Shabbat even here in this big sanctuary, even at home, even as we feel the separation of distance. We know there are ways to connect. We know there are ways to come together. There is a darkness. It is the darkness that Shabbat can erase or at least ease. Even if we're home alone, we pray that Shabbat will bring a sense of light, different type of light. And so we offer a prayer written by Debbie Perlman. Even if we cannot touch each other, we pray that with God's will and strength, we will feel that sense of connection. When all seems dark and the darkness is harsh, oh God, take my hand. When I cannot see light even in the brightest day, give me your hand. When I am tired and every breath is heavy, take my hand. When words do not grasp the depth of yearning in my soul, give me your hand. When my feelings are overwhelming or dulled, take my hand. When I am confused and don't know what to do, give me your hand, so that we may be together once again, so that we may be strong until that time. Oh God, give me that sense of presence. Take my hand. We light the darkness with the lighting of Shabbat candles. We pray for a year of light, a week of light, for our country, our planet, our community. If you're at home and able, feel free to light with us. Blessed are you, O Lord our God, ruler of the universe, who helps us with tools to bring light into the world. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu l'hadlik ner shel Shabbat. Our Torah portion that we'll hear some words about later begins with the words, Vayikra el Moshe vayidaber Adonai elav me'ohel moed le'emor. God calls to Moses. God brings close Moses. And God speaks to Moses at the tent of meeting, saying, and before the book of Leviticus continues, it starts with those words found only a couple of times in the Torah. That repetition. God calls to Moses, God speaks to Moses, and then God says something. And Rashi and Rashbam, his grandson, say this is not a redundancy. Sometimes when we have something really important to say, we want to make sure somebody's paying attention. And so we say, hey. And then we say, are you listening? And then we say, now that you're close, here's what I have to tell you. In this time of social distancing, ironically, we've discovered that sometimes we're really hearing what people are saying, even though we're not in the room with them. Some of us feel very disconnected, and yet through Zoom, through videos, through calls, through Skypes, I have found anecdotally from others that kids are a little more focused on some of their classroom learning, maybe because they're doing it on their waking schedule. I've heard that people are a little more focused, a little more connected, even as they are lonelier. And so we have choices each day. We have choices whether we can say, stop. Are you listening? Do you hear what I have to say? Are you really focused? Are you really there? The connection that can break through loneliness. Speaking only to my own week, Tuesday and Wednesday, I had the joy of talking to congregants, being with them, teaching, listening to them through social media, through different platforms, through phone calls. We had classes. We had opportunities to speak. Finally, Thursday, things slowed down. I had a few free hours. And I'll confess, what did I do? I spent most of the day checking the newspaper over and over and checking the coronavirus app. It's a little bit addictive and a little bit dangerous. And so my prayer for you during the next week is, as challenging as this time is, how will you use your time? Be safe, stay home, but you can choose to use each day. You can use it watching the news nonstop, grappling with fear, terrified, checking the counting of the death toll, or you can use it calling a friend, turning into one of our or the hundreds of other opportunities through social media, calling friends, seeing friends, reading a book, breaking through that fear, and bringing in the spirit of Shabbat. And so our prayer is not only for those who are physically ill, but those emotionally, spiritually, all of us who feel alone. Our prayers go out for the speedy recovery of Annette Dover, Charlotte Fiwas, Stacy Lewis, Jeffrey Mark, Maria Schoen, Graham Baker, Elliot Blumber, Katrina Joy Rogers, Eddie Sankery, Debbie Friedman, Claire Brunhold, Mike Fox, Ann Westerman, William Westerman, Van Stensler, Bill Feld, Bernice Etkoff, Robert Bogan, Ellen Alcon, Christopher Long, Brendan Levy, Leslie Arnov, Ellen Mack, Ted Mack. Carl Rosenblum is stronger and healthier and helping to stream the service, but Carl, more strength and more help. You're still on the list. Shira Karp, Michael Hoffman, and all those you are thinking of now, may the one who brings blessing bring them to you, healing to all who feel lonely and broken, as we sing together.
with refuah shlema, a renewal of body, a renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
As we prepare for Shabbat first, this is a chance for you to wish people Shabbat Shalom. If you are home alone, that's okay. I give you permission, if service is in your house, to pick up your phone, to text them Shabbat Shalom, or to send them a message, or to let them know that they are not alone. I am sure all of us can think of someone who could use a Shabbat greeting as we grapple with this new normal, this sense that we are isolated. I want to ask you to create a Shabbat place, a sacred place to just take a deep breath wherever you are and just take a moment, because where you are needs to change. You're not in the sanctuary. Maybe you were able to move to another room, but you have to do the work of creating sacred space, of turning off the news, turning off all the other distractions. A prayer from our Shabbat service. I enter this sacred space to voice the longings of my heart in prayer, in sacred company. I offer my love to the Holy One. I devote myself this evening to psalm and song, study and prayer. May my heart be lifted, may my thoughts be deepened, and may my soul, like the eagle, soar. How beautiful this Shabbat day.
Shabbat Shalom, Maya Fehayom. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom.
Take another deep breath. Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? We join together.
Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Baruchu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed, le'olam
Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening blows. Baruch atah Adonai, Hamariv Aravim. Hear, O Israel, Adonai is our God. Adonai is one.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchutov Leolam Vaed. Love the Lord your God with all thy heart, with all thy soul, and with all thy might. And these words which I command you on this day shall be upon thy heart, shall be upon thy heart, and thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children, and thou shalt speak of them when thou sittest in thy house, when thou walkest by the way, and when thou liest down, and when thou risest up, and when thou risest up. And thou shalt bind them for a sign upon thy hand, and they shall be for frontlets between thine eyes, and thou shalt write them on the doorposts of thy heart. commandments, and be holy unto your God, unto your God, unto your God.
Love your God with every heartbeat, with every breath, with every conscious act. Keep in mind the words I command you today. Teach them to your children. Talk about them at work. Whether you are tired or you are rested, let them guide the work of your hands. Keep them in the forefront of your vision. Do not leave them in the doorway of your house or outside your gate. They are reminders to do all of my mitzvot, so that each of us can be holy for God. For I am Adonai, your God, who led you out of Egypt to become your God. I am Adonai, your God. Just as I brought you through the sea to freedom, I ask of you to fight for the oppressed, to work for justice, to help all who are stranded on the other side, to cross the sea to redemption. Thought has blown the marketplace away. There is a song on the wind and joy in the trees. Shabbat arrives in the world, scattering a song in the silence of the night. Eternity utters a day. O God, open our lips, that our mouths may declare your praise.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Ve'koneh Hakol, Ve'zocher Chasdei Avot ve'imahot, Umevi Geula Livnei B'neihem, Leman Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Uzer U'Moshiach U'Magen, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magen Avraham Ve'ezrat Sarah. Atar Gibor Leolam Adonai, Mechaye HaKol Atar Rav Lehoshia, Mashiv HaRuach U'Merid HaGashem, Mechalkel Chaim Bechesed, Mechaye HaKol Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim Ve'Rofeh Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato Lishanei Afar, Nichamocha Bal Gevurot, Umido Melach, Melech Memid Umechaye, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman Ata Lechayot HaKol, Baruch Atah Adonai, Mechaye HaKol.
Days pass and the years vanish, and we walk sightless among miracles. God, fill our eyes with seeing and our minds with knowing. Let there be moments when your presence like lightning illumines the darkness in which we walk. Help us to see wherever we gaze, the bush burns unconsumed, and we, clay touched by God, will reach out for holiness and exclaim in wonder how filled with awe is this place. And we did not know it. Blessed is the Eternal One, the Holy God. Baruch atah Adonai ha'el ha'kadosh. As we pause for a moment of silent prayer and reflection, I don't know if our camera can turn up this high, but Mark and Carl, if it can, maybe we can get the eternal light and the shortened version of the mitzvot. If not, that's all right. We can try as we take a moment to find our place, our moment, our place for silence.
Amcha Yisrael, Bechol עת ובכל שעה, בשלומך. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam.
One of the lessons of Parashat Vayikra is the difference between sins committed on purpose versus sins committed by mistake. We learn that the levels of atonement are different for inadvertent sins as opposed to intentional sins. This raises questions about the inherent value of intention. If you do something with good intentions, but it leads to harmful consequences, should you still be held responsible? Surely you don't just get a free pass because you meant well. Then again, should you really be punished for something you did on accident? This parsha tells us that sins committed by mistake still require atonement, but they're considered less serious offenses than deliberate sins. Your wrongdoings aren't ignored, but your level of atonement is less. The Torah seems to tell us that intention does matter to some extent, and that should be reflected in how easy it is to be forgiven. However, regardless of whether you meant to commit a sin or not, you are still culpable, and you must still ask for forgiveness.
We continue with Aleinu. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol,
Latei gedula
yotzer breshit, shelo asanu k'goy haratzot, velo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam kakenu chaim, v'gor aleinu kechol hamonam, va'anachnu korim, u'mishvachim u'modim, lifnei melech, malchei hamachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Let the time not be distant, O God, when all shall turn to you in love, when corruption and evil shall give way to integrity and goodness, when superstition shall no longer enslave the mind, nor idolatry blind the eye. O may all created in your image become one in spirit and one in friendship, forever united in your service. Then shall your realm be established on earth, the word of your prophet fulfilled. Adonai will reign forever and ever. V'ne'emar v'haya Adonai lemelech kol haaretz bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad. As we prepare for Kaddish, we know there are many that we mourn. On this 30-day period of mourning, you may have your own names during this time of Shloshim. We mention Cecile Mankin-Price, Dean Schreier, Pauline Wittenberg, and Dr. Julian Haber. Dr. Haber was buried surrounded only by his immediate family at the Beth-El section of Greenwood this past week. A memorial service will take place when it is safe for the family who lives in different states to come together, and when it is safe for us to be there with Julian's family, Marion and Howard and the other children and grandchildren. Julian was many, many things. A doctor, a war veteran and hero, a teacher of history, a rabid baseball fan, a kind man, a father and husband and grandfather, a committed Jew. Julian had a kindness that just was effusive, And although I only knew him in the last 3.5, almost 4 years, you could feel his presence. No one who met him for more than a few moments went away untouched. Even in these last few months of failing health, Julian would come rolling along with his walker, and he'd say, "Rabbi, come close." Sometimes it was a joke, sometimes it was a story or a concern. Sometimes it was, "Rabbi, I need the list of new names." For Julian wrote not one, but several different books telling the stories of the veterans. He thought it was important that each veteran from this Tarrant-Fort Worth area story was told, not only the famous heroes, but the sacrifices of each. And he wrote 3 books and a number of others. 3 books, one just about done, about local Jewish war heroes. And he personally inscribed each of those books so they could be presented to each of our B'nai Mitzvah students. Those books sit on shelves for years and years of students. They take on a profound additional meaning now. Some of Julian's friends shared some memories because they could not be with him, with us here tonight. From Dr. Bruce Weiner, Julian, the colleague and friend. I'll always remember Julian's kindness to me when I moved to town some 43 years ago. I came to Fort Worth as a stranger in a strange land, determined to establish a pediatric dental practice here in our new home. Dr. Haber had an established pediatric practice, and so it's his office that I nervously visited first. He was so kind and encouraging to me. He welcomed me to Fort Worth and made me feel comfortable with my decision to move here. He and his partner, Barry Bostic, referred patients to me at a time when I had none. We became trusted colleagues and friends. We had a mutual respect, which I treasured until the day I died. His books were not only about veterans, but his books that dealt with health, including one that spoke of the misdiagnosis of ADHD, may have saved many a life. He wore so many different hats and wrote for as long as he could. From Red Goldstein, our confirmation teacher, for 10 years, Dr. Haber would spend a Sunday morning with the confirmation class teaching them about Jewish participation in the U.S. military since the founding of the Republic. Not having him as a resource saddens me greatly. A teacher, a great friend, a patriot. Marty Rubinson said he was a baseball fanatic and was so appreciative of MRJ and our help with the war veterans. I never remembered seeing him without a smile. Hollis Weiner, Julian the patriot, the historian, the writer. During World War I, 81 local Jewish boys served in uniform. To thank them for their service, their names were etched in black ink on 2 giant white marble tablets outside the entrance to Avat Shalom. But 5 years ago, decades of wind and rain and sun and exposure to the elements had worn away and eroded the dark lettering, the surface of those tablets. As the World War I centennial approached, a team from the archives lobbied to restore the memorial. Julian was the first to notice. He researched the soldiers who fought in the Great War. He volunteered to write their stories. He dug deep, learning their ranks, their stations, their battles, their ribbons, their honors. He read volumes about the war, unearthed classified documents, family histories. He found 100-year files at the Benbrook Public Library. Julian was relentless in his quest to turn the forgotten doughboys into more than names, but colorful heroes. Julian said that most war histories are about famous people in uniform, not the ordinary soldiers who do their duty and return to civilian life. Julian recognized the humanity, self-sacrifice of each person who served in uniform. Peter Levy spoke of Julian, the vet who was the friend, a passionate historian who wanted the Jewish vets to tell their stories. He said, keenly aware of what was going on in the lives of every veteran, he loved our son as if he was his own grandson. He was my mentor, my brother in arms, the grandfather I never had, the dearest of friends. I will miss his friendship most of all. Past president of our brotherhood, author of multiple books, distinguished and proud soldier, a storyteller who shared his stories with every B'nai Mitzvah student, a caring Jew, a wonderful father, and as Marion said, my high school sweetheart first, and then my husband for 36 years. As we remember Dr. Haber, wherever you are, if you are able, we ask you to stand for him. As we also mention the yahrzeits of Francis Appleman, Eva Berlin, June Britton, Joe Bronstein, Fanny Brooks, Moses J. Chikotsky, Joseph Cohen, Louis Cohn, Frank Dover, Louis Evans, Bernard Fleck, Pauline Schlinger Frankel, Marcus Friedman, Shep Friedman, Dina Sussmanitz Friedman, Carolyn Gilbert, Alan B. Groper, Dorothy Hertzman, Adeline Horvich, Louis Horvich, Bertram Jacobs, Shiri Siena Kaikov, Ian Matthew Kaitzer, Leonard Karotkin, Louise Karotkin, Kenneth Clapper, Arthur Clayman, William Lenton, Maxine Newlander, Max Prostic, Bert Robbins, Mona Roddy, Rose Rosenthal, Samuel N. Rosenthal, Joseph Rubenstein, Alvin Rubin, Sylvia Sachs, Louis L. Sadler, Leon G. Schwartz, Selma Schwartz, Lillian Switzman, and Lillian L. Chushin. We join together, if able, the mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah, bi'amal divrach yerutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon v'yomechon, b'chayechol Beit Yisrael, ba'agalal v'izman kari v'imru, amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam u'l'amei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal, shmei dekud brichu, Laila min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiram v'almal v'imru, amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. Osei shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. May God, who brings peace and wholeness, bring these to all of us and all who are in need. And let us say, Amen. As we prepare for the conclusion of our service, I wish I could say every week, but I meet a few times a month with a wonderful group I call the Mid-City Rabbis, because one comes from Denton, and one comes from Colleyville, and one comes from Plano, another comes near Plano, another one in Dallas, I come from Fort Worth, and so we just, even though we're not all mid-cities, Rabbi Dennis and Rabbi Citron Walker and Rabbi Sternman and Rabbi Taub and Rabbi Comans, and we tell jokes and we tell stories, and we lunch, and this week we met by Zoom. And when one of the rabbis said, so what's your sermon going to be this week? He said, Gam ze ya'avor, this too will pass. And then the rabbi said, what's your sermon going to be next week? Gam ze ya'avor, this too will pass. Then another person on the Zoom call said, what's going to be your sermon the next week? Gam ze ya'avor, this too will pass. For however many weeks, and God forbid, but maybe months it takes to be sound, to be healthy, to be safe. Gam ze ya'avor, this too will pass. Enriched, inspired by the voices of Molly and Caroline. A reminder that the future is there. The future is bright. The clouds will part. Our city will come back. Our country will come back. Our planet will come back. Gam ze ya'avor, this too will pass. Yevarecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God watch you and strengthen you and protect you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'chunecha. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May you feel God's presence. May it lift you up when you are down. May it carry you with the knowledge that this too will pass. Our closing song, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Thank you both so much. Thank you to our service streamers. Thank you to all of you who are with us. A reminder that on Monday our new schedule will come out. Tomorrow night we'll have Havdalah at 6 o'clock on Zoom. Our Facebook religious school page. You can join. Just contact Cantor Shoshana. Email her and say, please add me to the religious school site with games and programs and connections to our teachers. A new schedule will come out the next week that will have Torah study, a session called Help. I'm leading my Seder all alone. What do I do? We'll talk about one of the parts of the Seder that deals with revenge and is revenge Jewish. We will have services and programs, all kinds of things. And a reminder that the second night Seder will be on Zoom. And we are actually working on a way to get it on YouTube as well, probably an hour later, so that all of you who wish can be with us. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you. That's a little different. Oh, Shabbat. It's quiet. Thank you.